Hello and welcome to the Make It Count podcast. Some leaders build companies, and some build teams, and some step into places where the work is harder. The stakes are human, and the impact changes lives every single day. My guest is Stephanie Melchert, a Dallas-based CEO leading a multimillion-dollar organization serving individuals experiencing homelessness. But the real story isn't just the scale of what she runs, it's the mindset she brings to it. Stephanie lives by PMA, positive mental attitude, because when you're leading in an environment where people are rebuilding their lives, attitude isn't just personal, it becomes culture. It becomes leadership. Her work sits right at the intersection of operational discipline, compassion, and hope, creating stability and real pathways forward for the people her organization serves. Help me welcome to the podcast, Stephanie. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. And I know I said Dallas based, but it's actually more North Texas, right?
It is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I did catch it there and I was like, oh, wait, I think that's supposed to be North Texas. So one thing about Make It Count podcast is as we bring people on to kind of pour into the people watching and listening, by intention, most people may not know who you are, right? Or know who I am, and that's okay. We're here to serve. So tell everyone a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Stephanie Melchert, and I currently am the president and CEO of the Arlington Life Shelter. And as you mentioned, we do serve individual men, women, and families throughout North Texas. But I'm going to say for who I am, not only am I very passionate about health and human services, but I'm a God-fearing woman. I'm a Nana, and I'm a mother, but I'm just a really good friend, and I might have a little sassiness to me, and definitely live by PMA and faith and perseverance. So.
Yeah. So what led you to PMA? When you say positive mental attitude, when did that sort of become an anchor for you?
Well, I don't know if it was necessarily from the day I was born, but it's definitely my father's motto. So my dad was definitely a strong leader, a Marine, and a God-fearing man. So funny, hardworking, disciplined, that he would just always, every single day was always about PMA. Sometimes around the dinner table, that would be our conversation. Like, tell me about your day today. What was positive? What was your positive mental attitude for the day? I always kind of use the word good, bad, and ugly, but all of our days aren't, always good, and they're not always bad, and they're not always ugly, but you can always have a good day with your attitude. So no matter, attitude is everything, in my opinion. So I think it was instilled in us. And over the years, first of all, sometimes I was like, oh gosh, here we go again, that PMA. But over the years, it just really has stuck with me. Mm-hmm. And I have had lots of experiences, good, bad, and ugly. And my attitude is probably what has shaped me to who I am today. And because of the experiences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I think a choice, it's an intentional choice, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
To choose positivity. I think the other thing that probably directly connects to then as well is an abundance mindset versus a scarcity mindset, right?
Absolutely.
Because our culture is wired for scarcity.
Yeah.
And nothing in that is positive. So to have to believe that those two also sort of intersect. What are your thoughts?
I would agree. You can't, as a God-fearing woman, you can't live in fear and have faith at the same time. So scarcity kind of makes me think of you're fearful. And so if you just have to wake up every day and be grateful. And sure, the day might be a hard day, but I'm going to get up and do it anyway. And I might stumble along the way, or I might need to, take a breather and be like, hey, you got this, self-talk, so to speak, and just keep pushing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have I love mantras, and in my office, I have it says, "The will of God will never take you where the grace of God will not protect you."
Good one.
Yeah, that that's where I'm like, okay, Lord, there's something you want me to get from this. Okay, I got it. Well, just hand it to me. Let me know what it is. We'll be good.
Right, right.
Yeah. So tell me. So I do have some questions, of course.
Sure.
So when you look back at your early years, what shaped you?
I'm going to say my parents. The way we were raised. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Iowa. So I always, everyone's like, "Oh, you're from the North." No, there is definitely a Midwest. And so it's our work ethic, our morals, values, that kind of thing. But our parents were. That's definitely who shaped me because of their faith, their discipline, their mindset. Uh, we had fun. It was serious. We had rules. We had, all of that. But then as I got older, as a young adult, I was like, yay, I don't have to do this. I can do my own thing. Um, and here again, here's that good, bad, and ugly. Sure, I made mistakes. Some of them were a good mistake. Some of them were bad mistakes, and some of them were kind of ugly. But throughout all of the good, bad, and ugly things in my life, it was that shaped me. So I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that again. Or, sure, that was kind of a mistake, but what was my lesson in this? And so just with each passing day, month, year, I reflect. I'm definitely a big processor reflector, and just try to do the right next thing, and just continue to persevere and hopefully do it right.
Yeah, well, you definitely have a heart to serve. Now,
Absolutely.
you're leading a multi-million-dollar organization today.
Mm-hmm.
Was that always the path?
No. So I was an athlete. So I always thought that I was going to be, in the Olympics and be an athlete the rest of my life. And a few injuries, lots of injuries down the road. It was, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something big.
Mm-hmm.
But over the years, as a young mother, and things changed and stuff like that too, that everything has really kind of morphed, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in the for-profit world for the longest time in retail marketing, and heck, I had a concert business with NASCAR. I mean, just all sorts of crazy cool things. But if I go back to my childhood and just watching my life, my parents always served. They were always involved in the community. So nonprofit or volunteering or serving wasn't anything foreign to me.
Yeah.
But maybe in my younger years, because we had to go do this, or I felt like it was forced. Sometimes it was forced upon us. So it wasn't my choice. But then there was a point in time that I was yearning for something, and that, giving back is what that one of the pieces I was missing. So when I moved to Texas in '98, it just kind of fell in my lap. So I wasn't in the nonprofit world for the longest time. I stepped into it in '98 when I moved here to Texas. So it's just it's definitely in my blood now. So and whether I stay in nonprofit, I mean, I don't have any plans to leave nonprofit, but I can always see myself, like, if I won the lottery, I would be able to I would not work and give all my expertise or intellectual capital to all these organizations that I would like to help.
Yeah.
So if you can put a good word in, let's win the lottery. And
I always say I'd have to play first to win.
Yes, yeah, me too. Yes. That
But
is probably one of the key things that we have to do.
yeah, no, I didn't know about the athletes. So what kind of sports was it?
Oh, I was a swimmer and a diver, and I also played tennis. And I grew up in Iowa, so we had snow and water. So lived in Dubuque, Iowa, right on the Mississippi. So water skied, snow skied. But I was swimmer. I swam the 500, and I also dove. So I went to Iowa State University, and just 13 knee surgeries later, a couple of total knees and hip replacement. I think I'm not going to throw a triple, anymore.
Yeah. Well, and then you mentioned a move from Iowa to Texas in '98.
Oh, yes.
What brought you to Texas?
Well, I kind of moved to other places before. So I went to Colorado first, right out of college. And then from there, we went to South Carolina. And that's when I was working for Kellogg's and also had a concert business with my husband. So I'm going to coin that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never heard it said that way.
Well, here again, that positive mental attitude, and attitude is everything, ex-husband, ex-wife. I mean, I don't need to, someone's like, well, what do you call it? An ex-wife? Well, I don't know. That's not my problem to figure out. I don't have an ex-wife. I have an ex-husband. So I just is negative, so I just call him my husband. So we moved to, we were in NASCAR. And so I worked for Kellogg's and he worked for Interstate Battery. And then, this crazy idea to have a concert business at the same time of having our, full-time careers in NASCAR. So it was crazy. And then we literally moved to Texas in '98 with the Light and Sound Company. That's how we moved to Texas. So our concert business was a Light and Sound Company based in Fort Worth. And so they wanted us to come and bring our concert business and expertise in that arena to Fort Worth. So I will say I'm super glad that we moved out of South Carolina to Texas. And not only was that a good move because I really like Texas, but that's kind of when my whole life from a mom to being married, and that's a lot of changes happened when I moved here, but they're all good changes. So
yeah. Where were you at in South Carolina?
I was in Rock Hill, so literally a bedroom community of Charlotte. So,
okay, I was gonna say I've not heard of Rock Hill.
Yeah, no, it's literally. I mean, I can't even probably like 25 minutes from Charlotte. So, Kellogg's was our headquarters was in, not headquarters, but an office was in Charlotte. Obviously NASCAR is, very big in Charlotte. So our son was like 18 months old. So it was a crazy life. Crazy cool, but I guess someone had to be the adult. Can't just be jet setting every weekend and, we won't talk about that.
And now your son's grown, right? I think our sons are almost the same age.
Yes.
Early 30s.
I'm so super proud of my son. His name is Parker, and he has a lovely wife, Alicia, and I have two amazing grandchildren, Easton's 6 and Kinsley's 4. They're definitely my world. They're great ages. We all live in Arlington. Her parents are right down the street as well. So it's great just to see him blossom as a father and a provider, and doing great in his career as well. And so I definitely am a proud mom, because I did raise him all on my own from like when he was like in pre-K or something like that. So
okay, so I'm gonna go on to the next question here.
Sure.
Running a homeless shelter isn't light work. What surprised you most once you were inside it?
Yes, that so how am I want to just preface it with, I didn't really, when they reached out to me to come to the shelter, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about homelessness. But that isn't my expertise. My expertise is organizational management and leadership and raising money, basically.
Yeah.
And so just coming in, taking over a homeless shelter, I was looking at more of the skill sets that was needed. And obviously I've served those demographics, individual men, individual women, families, women and children, people with disabilities, veterans. Those have been some of the social service areas I've been in. But homelessness in general now, I am just want to be a huge advocate for them because people have such a misunderstanding. So when I came in, I was like, gosh, we're a program shelter. We are a medium barrier shelter. So we're not like every other emergency shelter. Not everybody can come in. We only have one roof, but we've always been a program shelter. So these are the people that might have just had a hiccup in their life and something happened to them temporarily. So it's a safe place for them to come, rebuild and get back on their feet to self-sufficiency. So I guess when I came in within the first, 3-6 months, I was like, wow, there is such an uneducated, our world or communities are uneducated about what homelessness really is. I think I'm probably going to repeat. I remember one question down the road is what is the biggest misconception of homelessness? And I'm going to say that is people just think that they're lazy or some sort of a drug or alcohol, issues. And it's not. It's sure there are some of those.
Sure.
But the majority of our people today, as far as what we see in our shelter, are the lack of affordable housing. And they had a hiccup in their life. And so they are the ones that will do the work, want the help, need the help. They don't want a handout. They want a hand up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading an article, 59% of the general population in America is one paycheck away from homelessness.
Absolutely. Yep.
Right. I mean, it's not, the divide is not that wide. And, my husband and I are real estate investors. So
great.
we have a lot of people in our inner circle, if you will. And affordable housing is the big thing that across the country, that our group is trying to solve with co-living properties, right?
Absolutely.
Right. And partnering with some nonprofits to help with transitional housing or sober housing. And because it is a big problem.
It is. I mean, even if you think of our aging population that has taken their Social Security, or veterans or people with disabilities, they're on a fixed income. So especially when COVID happened, or I think it was right during or after COVID, when, you could just raise the rent without any kind of ramifications from anybody. And if someone wanted to raise their rent, they could. And so if you have someone on a fixed income, let's say they're getting $2,100 a month, that's, that might be their mortgage could be $1,000, and then they have to pay property taxes. And then let's say their spouse, a spouse dies. And so their dual income is now one and they can't afford it. So it's just that domino effect. It's one paycheck away. They don't have the savings. And then you have the underemployed or unemployed. Our underemployed people are working that 40-hour week job and consistently. And so they have a full-time job, but they're only making $10, $8, $12 an hour. And so they don't have very much wiggle room in their budget if something happens. And so there's that hiccup, they are sick and they don't have sick time, or, they blew out a tire and they don't have an emergency savings. So they have to use some of their rent money or mortgage money to pay to get all new tires. And then the domino starts affecting.
Now, you mentioned it's a program shelter. Tell us more what that means.
So we are not only a program shelter, but a medium barrier. So that means what a medium barrier shelter means is that not everybody can come in. So first of all, they have to have a background check, and we don't accept anybody that has that's a sex offender. We also don't allow anybody to come in that has any violent criminal activity in the past 2 years and felonies within the last five years regarding criminal activity. And then obviously, so we have one roof and we serve children, and we have our family dorms, we have our individual women dorms and individual men. So they all are eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. You know, they're sharing our laundry services. They're in classes together. So the program side of it is, here is the schedule, and we expect within the first 3 days just for you to kind of chill out. You're safe. You have 3 meals a day. You have hot water. You can take a shower 10 times a day if you want. You have the opportunity to do laundry and clean clothes, and you have all the basic needs that you may not have on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet with our case management and department and figure out, how did you get here and what are your needs? And then we start a plan. And you know, they have rules to follow, you know, obviously, and we have curfews, and we are 24/7. So obviously a lot of our people do work overnight as well. So, you know, it's just a different model than most homeless emergency shelters. So not everybody can come in, and we have people stay 3, 4, sometimes our families, unfortunately, and people with SSI and SSDI are staying a lot longer because of the affordable housing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, typical time from somebody arriving, everything's clear, they're able to stay, to being back out, if you will, the transition. Mm-hmm. What's the average length of that time?
About 12 to 14 weeks.
Okay.
And as I mentioned before, sometimes it's longer because of whatever the situation might be. So each day that someone stays with us, so an 18-year-old on up, we call them, you know, young adults, and it's about $100 a day. So we have done the matrix with the Center for Nonprofit Management to figure out how much it costs us to have an adult with us. And so $100 a day provides them with all the, you know, the needs that they need, including our case management. And then our children are $50 a day. So there's where that multi-million-dollar budget comes in.
Well, and then you mentioned the schedule, mm-hmm. right, in the program. What are some of the things that might be on the schedule that you all, through the case manager, I'm assuming, mm-hmm. setting a plan,
absolutely,
would have require of somebody who's staying there?
So let me use a individual female. If they have, most of them have jobs. Mm-hmm. So, but maybe what happened is they only have a part-time job. So they'll figure out what their skill sets are and help them find a better job or another job.
Okay.
We have classes. We have over 35 different partners that come into our facility to teach women's empowerment, budgeting, you know, the impactfulness of your credit report. Maybe it's life skills. Maybe they had a death in the family and they never went through the grieving process of it. So grief counseling, individual counseling. So all these different, we have SNAP, we have WIC, we have Medicaid, we have all these programs that we bring the experts that they are experts in into our facility to help our individuals and our families too. So we have parenting classes, we have fun stuff for the children too. But the other thing is, if you work these days, so here's time for you to get up, here's breakfast time, here's time that breakfast ends, and then you go to your job or you go to school or whatever your day looks like. And then when you come back and you're back in the afternoon, you know what, let's take this budgeting class. And, you so that you have some mental health issues or you're grieving or whatever the mental health is, we'll get you hooked up with a counselor. And some of them are on site and some of them are Zoom or whatever the Doxel Me. And there's all sorts of, online counseling that they provide. And then we have chores and we have curfew and we have dinner time and we have yoga, we have Zumba, we have Bible study, we have computer classes to learn how to even just do word or basic emailing, and to building your resume, to building a budget, just all sorts of stuff. So whatever their needs are, that's where they build that trust with their case manager. And each week, we say they have a weekly meeting, but believe me, there's a lot of times our clients here, our case managers, more than once a week. But it's definitely a mandatory once a month or once a week meeting with them. And then they just keep like adjusting their schedule, and getting them back to self-sufficiency. Maybe they just needed to save X amount of money to get back into that apartment that they had, or to stay with a friend or family member. So self-sufficiency is our mission. Get them back to that.
Well, the life skills that you all are teaching them. I mean, you and I were talking about this earlier, right? Generational poverty is a thing.
Absolutely.
And when you look at just our society and what we teach kids, right? Mm-hmm. Credit, you were talking about credit. They don't teach credit to kids in school. And
I mean, teach them how to balance a checkbook. Not that, the checkbook is a thing anymore, but I mean, I still have one.
I've got it somewhere.
I have it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're really helping to set up changing also as they move forward. Yes. Now you've been there 5 or 6 years, I think.
Just 5, 6 years. Mm-hmm.
Just 6. As you look back from when you originally joined to now, what are some of the things that you have incredible pride for? Like, what have the evolution? I mean, 6 years may not sound like a lot of time, may seem like a lot of time, right? I mean, that's certainly time to have impact.
So when I first took over, we were leaderless for quite some time. And so coming into an organization that had been leaderless for well over 12 months was a challenge. Yeah. We also had added on another 14,000 square feet to our facility. So we just opened up from a night shelter to a 24/7. And we were also in COVID.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I'm going to say just those 3 things is huge. Right. I might have only been there 6 years, or currently 6 years, but I feel like I've been there for probably 26. But that maneuvering all of that, I'm going to say, is a win. And then now looking back the last couple of years, I am super proud of our statistics. And I mean, a lot of people just want to show how many people we served and stuff like that. But the fact that our people are getting the tools that they need, so when they are out on their own again and something happens, they can pull their tool belt out and be like, oh, I learned this task. So that, and plus my team, we have really grown our team. I'm a big fan of the seat at the table. I feel like we have all the right people at the table, and now it's to the point where I'm moving the chairs, and I'm moving the chairs up. So I'm a firm believer of coaching up, and not homelessness and serving homelessness isn't for everyone. We just lost a really great employee because it just got to her. We can't help everybody, and not everybody wants the help either. So most of our people do want the help, but then something happens and it's their choice to leave. So just knowing that I am building the next level,
Mm-hmm.
and my team is great. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without my team. I certainly couldn't do it without our board of directors. So I'm proud of the growth that we have done and pivoting. And I'm a realist and I'm a visionary. So I remember back in 23, starting to do the budget for 24, and I was like, we can't sustain this level of, millions. We're not going to sustain it. I mean, I'm a forecaster. I know what's happening. I know what's happening with our, we were in election year. We're all sorts of factors. So it's like, well, let's bite the bullet now. And maybe we're going to be ahead of the curve. And we were. And have we been able to get back up to where we financially want to be? You're in real estate.
Yeah.
We're persevering.
Yeah. Well, and Robert Hernandez wrote a comment I'm going to read out loud before we go to the next one. It's professionally and personally inspiring to see Stephanie sharing her perspective today.
Oh,
her leadership reflects the same compassion and professionalism her organization brings to serving the Arlington, Texas community. Grateful for the work she and the Arlington Life Shelter team are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. Yeah, if I had a huge blowhorn or something, I would love to be able to. I consider the Arlington Life Shelter a diamond in the rough.
Mm-hmm.
We've been around for almost 38 years.
Oh, wow.
And 1987, but no one really knows about us. And if we had, an abundance worth of money, the first thing people cut in their budget, whether it's for profit or nonprofit, is marketing. It's like, you got to spend money to make money. But, just tooting our horn and getting the word out and just getting the, the education around what homelessness does look like and what it truly is. And it's such a taboo conversation. It really is. And, but so was sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So, and now that's kind of, people aren't really afraid to talk about that anymore. So, maybe we need to get homelessness off the taboo table. I don't know, because it's not going away.
Yeah. Well, and if you look across different states, it almost becomes political.
Oh, yes.
Right. And
it's very political.
I mean, these are human lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, it's not a political platform. Now, where are you all located in Arlington?
We're right off of Division Street in downtown Arlington.
Okay, in downtown. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I drop also in the comments so that way people know where they can go to learn more as well. I just don't want to forget. So shelter.org. Okay, there we go. That way they know where they can go to make a donation. They can go to learn more about what you all are doing. What about volunteers? Do you all have volunteers?
Absolutely. Our volunteers are definitely our backbone as well. We obviously, with COVID, we had to pivot. So since during COVID, we were considered, we are a congregate living facility. So we were charged very similar to like jails and hospitals and nursing homes and stuff like that by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. Mm-hmm. So we run a lot more strict rules than like you were in your shelter in place.
Right.
And so I just lost my train of thought. See, I'm human.
I said volunteers. You said volunteers are the backbone.
Yes, the volunteer. I was like, wait a minute, what was I talking about? So volunteers, the majority of our volunteers are our food teams. So in our food teams provided as a night shelter a hot meal. And they would come into our shelter and they would cook it at their churches or their Rotary clubs or whatever, and then bring it in and serve it. And then during COVID, we had to just they either sent us money, they delivered, had it delivered or whatever, or they had to step back. And so lots of pivoting went on there. And then, for us, it went on for about 2 years. So a lot of our volunteers then never came back, or it was like, oh, you know what, we've been giving you X amount of dollars a month or we're having the food delivered. So it was just easy for them to continue that way.
Yeah.
And so in the last couple of years, we have reestablished everything with our volunteers to come back on site. And not only, right now we have about 84 food teams. And as I mentioned, they, not only is it dinner, but we do hot lunch. On the weekends, we have hot breakfast. So having them come in and serve, it fills their bucket too.
Yeah.
I come in about once every 6 to 8 weeks with a group of women, and we have such a great time cooking together. And then we serve and our meal as well. And then they make sack lunches. We do done in a day type activities where organizations, whether they're corporate or women's groups or men's groups or just Rotaries, United Way groups, we just had lots of different organizations come in and volunteer. They might deep clean the men's dorm room, or they might paint. They might. Our biggest thing is our cafeteria, just totally deep cleaning that, and our high chairs and our tables and just all sorts of different or organizing coat drives. And so during the winter, a lot of people might not have the coats, and we don't serve street homeless, but if they're coming to us mid-August, September, October, lately in Texas, we've been getting cold snaps around the first week of October.
Yeah.
So, you might not have a coat. So just doing coat drives or supply drives. So every month we focus on some sort of a supply, and that helps our overall budget. We use a lot of toilet paper. But volunteers are key. And a lot of our corporations, American Airlines, General Motors, I hate to even start naming because I'll forget them all, but they bring in different teams once a month, and it's a great team building exercise.
Yeah.
We had, a group come in a couple of weeks ago, and they learned so much from their team members about things that they never knew because they were deep cleaning our shelter. Oh, you're really good at, that toothbrush on the windowsill or whatever. I'm making that up, but it's good to see a lot of fun team building, and they enjoy it, and they're giving it back. And one of the things from a volunteer standpoint is we all have a need to fill our own bucket, our own soul.
Yeah.
And, the biggest thing, if you're feeling down or blue or whatever your attitude is, just doing something for someone else will lift your spirits.
That was the thought that was coming to mind. I was like, if you want to get out of your own head, serve others.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how you get out of your own head.
Yeah.
That's so good. Let's see here. We talked a bit about PMA, so I'm going to move on to something else here for a second.
Sure.
Where have you had to guard your mindset the most as a leader?
Perfectionism.
Perfectionism?
Yes.
Okay.
Naysayers, not being good enough, and my time and peace. I am running at the end of the day, if something would happen to the inside the shelter, outside the shelter, whatever, it is my shoulders. So I guard my peace. I have to know that at the end of the day, I did all the right things.
Sure.
And there are you can't make everybody happy. I do use this analogy a lot, probably. I cannot make everybody happy. I'm certainly not tequila, and I'm not a taco.
And it's not Tuesday.
Yeah, correct. So, it's just doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, so there's heart in the work that you do. There's also budgets, operations, accountability. How do you hold both without losing either?
That's all. I mean, that was a great question. You have to have a plan. We have to be strategic about, you're gonna have to pivot here and there. We've pivoted multiple times in the last 6 years. You can coach people up, and you lose some people, and then you have to pivot, but you also have to go back to the plan. And the plan is to serve our residents to the best of our ability, to get them to where they need to be to become self-sufficient again.
Yeah.
And, I can sometimes get into the weeds and this and that, but more importantly is you can't let that operation budget or the game plans that we have in place go by the wayside. Because if you miss something, then that means that 3 or 6 months down the road, you might not have gotten that grant or whatever it is. So it's a juggling act. We're a small but mighty machine.
Yeah.
And right now, that actually is a very good question, because we are juggling a lot of things right now. My plates are spinning, but I'm not losing sight of the end goal, which is to be able to continue to serve at the level that they all deserve that are in our shelter.
Now, you've mentioned residents quite a bit.
Mhm.
On average, how many people are in your shelter as residents?
85, 85 daily. So
85 daily.
that is our capacity. Now, granted, sometimes when it's a holiday weekend or whatever, we have people coming and going all the time.
Yeah.
But when they do, it's their choice. So sometimes we might come in on a Monday morning and people might not have come back for the weekend. And so if they miss curfew, we always listen. There's always two sides of every story. So, but sometimes they leave on their own or whatever. So we usually, if we have like last week, we had a family move out, and it was great because it's a great story, and so happy for them. And within hours, we had another family come in. So it's really, and then during this time of the year, a lot of people get their income tax early. So they might choose to go to an extended stay hotel, or they go back to, maybe a family member or something. So this time of the year, believe me, we always have space during this time of year, but it can always be full within minutes, basically.
Yeah.
You
mentioned background check and what have you.
Pardon me?
You had mentioned background check.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And what have you. How long does that usually take?
10, 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when they come, we have intake every Monday through Friday from 2 to 4, if we have available space. So it's a first come, first serve, and they will come to our door. They might call and say, do you have any space? And at the time that they call, we might have the space, but we don't hold anything. So, we go to the front, to the front entrance, we chat with them, figure out what their needs are, let them know kind of what our program shelter looks like. If they're still are interested to do the tasks at hand at our shelter, then we'll take their information and start the intake process.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, now when you think about the team that you lead, what kind of culture within your team are you committed to protecting?
I want to protect my team first. They're frontliners. And oh my gosh, I have so much running through my head, but um, the culture is, I want for people to be treated like you would want to be treated. I think that is definitely seen in my leadership, and it's just the right thing to do. But of course, then there's the bottom line too. So
Yeah.
I want to lead by example, and I want them to lead by example as well. So I think that's definitely seen throughout the shelter. Our residents are, people are kind of dying to get in there. Like, no, we don't want to go to this location or that location throughout North Texas. They want to come here. So we're definitely a smaller shelter that is very homey. I mean, like one thing we did a couple of years ago was I looked at the sustainability of all the paper products and the trash and where you're using those paper cups, for coffee and water and tea. And we came through and decided to do a Get Mugged campaign where we asked for coffee mugs. And, we got an abundance of them, which is great. But who doesn't want to drink coffee or tea or whatever in a coffee mug instead of a paper? Those are just some little things to make it more homey. This is their temporary home, and treat our staff, and we definitely treat our residents with empathy, and we have to have our rules and stuff like that too. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get mugged. That's cute. Well, we talked about that one already a little bit. When you look ahead, what are you building toward?
When I look ahead, what am I building towards? Right now, I just want for people to know more about homelessness and the myths, maybe bust the myths of homelessness, and to be able to serve more people. And our shelter right now is just due to funding and the economy and just the way things are right now financially. That's a big machine to run on a daily basis. So I always laugh about or chuckle to myself. We're running this nonprofit as a business. And the only difference between a for-profit and a nonprofit, we have all the same stuff as a for-profit business. We have the HR, we have the rules, we have the compliance, we have insurance, property and casualty and health and medical and all that. We have everything a for-profit has. The only difference is we are not selling you a widget. We're selling you a feel good, a heart, a soul, a human aspect of it. And you might pay, tax on, the pens and the paper that you purchase, and we don't. And your shareholders are, if it's public, it's your, your stock, and your shareholders are, our shareholders are the people that entrust us with their donation to do the right thing. And so I'm building just to build awareness and grow a more sustainable organization.
Yeah. All right. We are actually getting close to wrapping up, Stephanie.
Awesome.
I know. Somebody just said absolute master class in leadership today. Tanya and Stephanie, thank you for being such brilliant examples of how to lead with both compassion and strategy. So grateful for the insights.
Aww.
Very sweet. Okay. If someone listening feels overwhelmed right now, like what you and I talked about, right? Our audience, in leadership, business, or life, what would you want them to hold on to?
Leadership and life is hard.
Yeah.
But just have that positive mental attitude,
Mhm.
keep persevering, and surround yourself with people that will help you and build you up, and just don't ever give up.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about something in the culture when we are talking about the culture of your team and just and getting to chat with you now a couple different times. When it comes to leadership, in a lot of organizations, people think the CEO or the president's the most important person in the company. See, I love that. I saw the head nod. And it's not. The CEO or the president's the most responsible,
Yes.
right? But the most important is the one that you're charging to take care of the very people that you're served,
Yes.
right? That you're charged to serve.
Yes.
And I think I see that within your leadership style as well.
Absolutely. I always, you know, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you're a CEO." It's just a title.
Right.
I mean, and it does come with massive amounts of responsibility.
Of course.
Absolutely. But the team is what makes. I mean, my job isn't easy, but I love it. And my team makes my job easier
Mhm.
because I trust them, and we all make mistakes, and
Yeah.
so, but they just, I don't know. I am very grateful for my team, and they are the ones doing the hard work, and they deal with it all, you know, the good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
So,
And there that is. So somebody that their name's not on there, but it says, I recently had the privilege to volunteer at Arlington Life Shelter. Stephanie and team are doing an amazing job.
thank
So
you.
for
Yeah,
all those watching, or if you watch the replay, they are constantly looking for volunteers, constantly looking for donations, right, to serve the community. And
absolutely.
when you mention affordable housing is a big piece of what has people land in your shelter. It's only going to get worse, right? I mean, if we think back to 2008, 2009, right?
Yes.
And what happened to housing and what happens, people start to shack up, right? They
Yes,
downsize, they shack up. So it's going to get worse before it gets better.
absolutely. And everything does.
Yeah.
So everything gets worse before it gets better. So
Yeah. All
I would
right.
just say, give people grace that, we don't know everyone's story, whether
Yeah.
they're homeless or not.
Right.
And, just give people grace.
Yeah. Stephanie, thank you. Thank you for coming on with us. And
Thank you.
everyone, we will see everyone next week.
Awesome. Thank you.